What's up YouTube? It's Ben, and in this video, I'm going to tell you the top 5 skills that every good recruiter needs. All right, guys, so welcome back to my channel, depending on if you follow me or not. Hey, subscribe right now if you aren't already. Also, join our Facebook group, link in description, Recruiter Empire. There's 10,000 recruiters there. You definitely want to be there. I answer your questions, tons of resources in there. You just want to be in the Facebook group, period. All right, so the number 1 skill you need to be really good at recruiting is attention to detail. I mean, this kind of goes without saying, but listen, you're going to be dealing with like 10 different clients, 100 different job orders, and you're talking to a million different people about tons of information. You've got to be able to juggle all of that stuff with detail. One small thing that's left out, or one missed phone call or email or text, could throw everything off, could lose an offer opportunity, could lose a client acquiring, you could lose anything, right? So you've got to pay attention to details. Everything's in the details. If you're messy and unorganized and you just don't have it all put together, you're not meticulous about what you do, and you don't have plans for things, you're probably not really good in recruiting. And if you don't have that innate skill and you can't learn it, then just don't try. Okay, so number 2 on the 5 skills for being a really good recruiter is the eye for talent. I mean, come on, this is pretty much the most blatant thing we could talk about, but listen, you gotta have an eye for talent if you're a recruiter, right? You need to know talent when you see it and see no talent when you don't see it. This comes pivotal when you're doing interviews with candidates. You have to understand if someone's qualified, right? If you're screening and sourcing and vetting, you need to understand that's a yellow flag, that's a red flag, that's a bright green flag. You have to understand all of those elements in the recruitment process. Otherwise, you're going to be sending in junk to your clients. They're not going to hire them. They're not going to hire you anymore. Having a good eye for talent is something that you can learn, right? That's the good news. So being able to understand what's good for what role is something that you can slowly understand, right? Because it's not a science, it's an art, right? So figuring out people and reading people and understanding, hey, if they're totally embellishing a resume or if they're totally legit and qualified, that's a super important skill you have to be a good recruiter. All right, so number 3, to be a successful recruiter, you have to have really, really good IT skills. And what I mean by that is basically you got to be really good with software, okay? So CRM, ATS, LinkedIn, etc., all that kind of stuff. Everything's automated these days, right? So we need to understand LinkedIn automation. We need to understand certain CRMs or applicant tracking systems, how they work, how they function, how to use them most efficiently. If you can't be like super on top of it with your LinkedIn game and your LinkedIn sourcing and searching and filtering on Sales Navigator, then you're really not at the top of your game. So you need to level up in that area if you're not there yet. But that's a critical skill for you to have to be successful in recruiting. Like I said, the good news is if you lack in any of those areas, those are definitely teachable, right? So you can learn how to put together a bunch of automation and a whole blueprint of strategy on how to find great clients and then candidates and all that. All right, so number 4 for being successful as a recruiter, time management. So this one really circles back to number 1, which is attention to detail. So time management is critical as a component of that, right? Understanding that you need to spend your time and allocate that time in specific areas, right? Because time is a finite resource. So using it wisely will actually make you more money and make you more successful. If you don't know how to be organized and manage your time properly, you're gonna suck and you're totally gonna drop the ball on a ton of things. If you're a really good recruiter, you're gonna be on time for interviews, you're gonna be on time for client calls, you're gonna be on time for everything. If you're a bad recruiter, you're not gonna call your candidates right away, you're not gonna answer emails right away, you won't send out contracts when you need to, and you're not gonna make money. All right, so number 5 being the 5th skill that is critical to your success in recruiting, communication. So we all know that communication is essentially vital just in life, like in relationships, work, and just within yourself, right? Communication is critical. So in recruiting, it's absolutely a must that you're an excellent communicator. This one sort of sums up everything I said, right? This means you need to understand how to read candidates really well. You need to communicate with clients very well to get their contracts. You need to engage with other parties and broker deals and negotiate, right? All of those things come into play as being a good communicator. And when you're a good communicator, you can get a lot of things done, which eventually means you're going to make a lot of money in recruiting. People always say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And that's essentially what I'm saying here right now. Communication is critical. It's key. If you don't do it right, you're not doing it right. So with that being said, you got to understand communication well to be successful. All right, guys, if you got any value out of this video, please smash that like button. Also join our Facebook group, link in description, and I'll see you guys next time.